Alrighty. Past couple of videos, we've been building up on our tic-tac-toe program a little bit. The issue is it's like a little crowded. So I'm going to zoom out a lot, I think. Maybe not all the way, maybe to like 125, but I need to be able to zoom out a good amount so that we can get a bird's eye view of this program. And we can, well, I don't like having, why can't I scroll down more? Right, I'll zoom in enough so I can get rid of this like code sculptor thing up there just so I can have the full program there. But I want to be able to, come on, zoom, let's go. There we go. Okay. I want to be able to like organize this a little bit better into functions because this is just a big mash of 42 lines of code all together. So let's do that. So let's we're going to make two functions because we've done two things so far, right? We're going to have a function that will create the board at a variable size, and then we'll have a function that will print a board. So we're going to say def like create board, and that will take as input just a board size. And now in here we have to tab all of these guys. Do that super quick. Done. So it's tabbed. This theoretically technically works, and I could even get rid of board size here, but it's much better practice to have your user input in the main part of your program and the functions to just take their own input. So I'm going to take input as board size, and instead of asking for the board size here, that's just going to go away because when this function runs, it is going to assume that it's been given a board size that's the right one, and we'll get that from the user in a different spot, right? But the function should not be getting input from the user. It should not be doing anything else other than here's a board size that I want. I'll create the board for you and I'll return it. So we're going to get rid of this. I'm probably going to put that like where my main program starts. So I'll say like, you know, main program begins here. And I'll put this in. It probably won't say board size, but whatever, you know. That's good for there. I'll comment this out though for now. This is good, right? We made it into a function. The only thing we need to do is just, well, it creates the board, and then we just want to return at the end of things the board. And so now it will take in a board size, do all the work that we saw in the last video, and then we'll return the board that it created. So now you'll be able to hold on to that. Great, easy enough. Here, we're going to get rid of these things. I'll probably keep that. Well, actually, all right, let's do one thing over here. So this is like going to be nice. We're also going to change the comments there. This is going to be nice in the comments I had before, because now that I have it in a function, it's kind of natural to put the comment on top to say what this is doing. So this create board takes in an integer and returns a tic-tac-toe board based on the what do I want to say? Create board takes in an integer as the size of the board. It then returns a tic-tac-toe board of that size. Now, when you start actually like working on bigger projects and with other people or in like in a company or something like that, you'll have rules that your group will follow and norms that your team will follow for exactly what you want your comments to look like and specifically how to say it. For now, we're just learning. I'm just going to write in English. You know, I could have a whole lesson on things like that, but we're just going to write this. This is a good enough comment, right? Create board takes an integer as the size of the board, and then it returns a tic-tac-toe board of that size. Great. Awesome. And one other thing I'll mention about comments here, just as a little thing, is a lot of times, you know, you can put comments throughout inside the code for yourself for when you're coming back to make sure you understand how the program works, or if there's a bug, you can go back and see what you were thinking before. But very often, like when you're sharing stuff with other people and they assume that your work is working, like the stuff that you gave them is working, they're just going to be looking at the comments at the top of the function. And that just needs to say, what input does it take and what output does it give? They don't, like once you have a function that works, you don't need to care how it works inside, right? That's kind of one of the values of a function. So yeah, if you're pretty happy with it and you know what's going on in your code, you can put comments up on top of the function, and that's what people will use. Comments inside of your function is for stuff that you think if you go back to it in 3 months because there was a bug that you learned and you have to figure out where the bug is, that's when you start putting some comments inside, like inline in the code. Let's keep going. I'm talking too much. So to do, make it a function. No longer to do, we're going to make it the function. So now we're going to say def print board, and this will be the board, right? They're going to you're going to input the board that you want this function to print out. And we're just going to do one of these where I run through everything. Oops. I'm just hitting tab left down, tab left down, tab left down, tab left down. And just, I know there's definitely got to be a better way. I just don't know how to do it in Code Sculptor for like auto tabbing a bunch of stuff. So whatever, what'd that take? 30 seconds? Is that it? Yeah. So we get the board, and yeah, I don't want to change all the variable names over here. I know I'm using a local of the board over here, and then I'm using another local of the board over here, and that's okay. Maybe it's a little confusing, but I think it should work. And so now this should do what we want it to do, right? It's a little, let me zoom back out again. Oops, let me zoom back out again. Just so you can see like what's going on. We've got TacToe program. We have this function over here, creates a board, takes an integer, blah, blah, blah. It does that. And then we have another function over here that we've defined that will print it. I'm going to put a little like comment over here just to show that this function ended. It's a little prettier looking for me. We'll comment over here showing that this function ended. What's going on? Just to show, like, for myself to see the ending of that function. Yeah, you know, like, we'll say here, takes in a 2D list board and prints to screen that list in a grid formation, right? Okay. Yeah, so we've got, these are now organized into two different functions, and now we just need to see how to call them with my, in the main part of my program. So I'm going to say, okay, instead of saying board size equals, I'm going to say create board at this input that the user put in, right? So now I will create the board, but I want to say board equals create board, so then when they return it, I'll have the board stored in this board function or board variable. I'm losing the sound of that word. I'm saying it too much. And then I can say, what is it? Print board, and then I will send it the board. So now, when you say a word so many times, it just sounds really weird. That's where I'm at with that word right now. And so now I should be able to see the same input. What is the board size? I'll say 3. Oh no. Why did it do that? What? Okay. I had an error at the end of the last video. Over here on line 46, I put a print line. What's going on? I put a print after every single dash. So that's why it printed out, it made a new line after every single dash. This might have actually been an error just with me indenting here, and I did the indentation wrong. Okay, let's try it again. Now Now it's only going to print when I'm at the end of the line, when I'm finished with that for loop. So it should be looking better. So let's make a 3x3. Looking good. So it's doing the same thing that our last video did, just it's now organized into functions. And so then when we're actually doing the work, we're doing the work inside of the main part of our program, which is calling the functions above it. Yeah, that's the video. Next one, what are we doing in the next one? I think the next one we're going to let the users decide to like place things in the board, and then we'll check, then the one after that will be checking to see if they win, and then we'll be done with tic-tac-toe, I think, and we'll start moving on to making the turtle program. Yeah, that sounds good. Looking good, sounding good, excited for it. See you next time.